You can hear me now. I think we should start. Regrettably, quite a few people are stuck in traffic, but the seminar room is available for a specific period, so a warm welcome from Wista, Greece, to all of you. It's a great pleasure to host a seminar during Pοσειδωνια. This is the second Pοσειδωνια in a row for which Wista is hosting a seminar. Today we're proud to welcome 4 ladies panelists, and starting from the far right, Ms. Angeliki Tsolakidou, who is coming all the way from Alexandroupoli, and she's also a Wista member, so a warm welcome to Angeliki. Ms. Alexandra Hatzimichailoglu, CEO of Kyklades Maritime, also a Wista member and a good friend of mine, so thank you very much, Alexandra, for joining us today. Ms. Arianna Psomas, the 3rd Wista member, she works with PPG, and the 4th panelist is not yet a Wista member, but we would like to welcome Ms. Kuku from Bureau Veritas soon to our association, and of course many thanks to the moderator, Mr. Zouzourakis from ABS, Mr. Gouroudzis, Minister, from ABS, and many thanks to ABS for being the platinum sponsors for this seminar. We're here today to discuss the human element within the decarbonization process, and we're all very interested in hearing what the 4 ladies have to say about their respective sectors of the maritime industry. So without further ado, Mr. Gouroudzis, the floor is yours, and thank you all very much for participating today.
I think now everybody's awake, okay? Try again. Okay. It's working. Hello, good afternoon. My name is Konstantinos Gouroudzis. I'm a Senior Project Manager for ABS Global Sustainability. It's very nice to meet you. And it's an honor for me to be here among you, and especially this panel. I think we have to wait a bit. I hope now it's better. Together with me I have a very exciting panel. I will try to make a short introduction to each of the members. I will try to keep it brief, although it's not possible because we are talking about a lot of experience here. So from the right side we can start with Mrs. Angeliki Tsolakidou. She is currently the head of financial department of Alexandroupolis Port Authority since 2005. And she's demonstrating over 2 decades of financial management experience in the maritime industry. She holds a bachelor's degree from the University of Piraeus on Maritime Studies, a master's degree from the Institute of Chartered and Certified Accountants of Greece on Applied Audit and Accounting, as well as a master's degree from the University of West London and BCA College on Logistics and Supply Chain Management. Prior joining Alexandroupolis Port Authority, she honed her expertise in financial analysis and reporting at Eurocarriers and Allseas Marine. And prior to that, she further developed her leadership skills as an assistant manager of finance and accounts at IMS and Delphi. Welcome here, Mrs. Tsolakidou. Next to Mrs. Tsolakidou, we have Mrs. Alexandra Hatzimichailoglu, CEO of Kyklades, studied law at the Aristotle University of Thessaloniki and holds an LLM degree in maritime law from the University of Southampton. She started her career as a manager of the legal department at Kyklades Maritime Corporation in 1998. In 2007, she left Kyklades to join the legal department of Diorix Maritime and Liquimar Tankers until the end of 2009. From 2010 until mid-August 2022, she worked as a senior claims advisor of GARD, having greatly contributed in the establishment of GARD Greece and mentoring, coaching and inspiring claims handlers internationally. During her times at GARD, she was reporting director to GARD's head of cargo claims for GARD's major cargo incidents worldwide, as a member of GARD's 3-member cargo team for the entire club. She joined Kyklades at the end of August 2002, being offered the position of the company CEO. Welcome. Excuse me. The next panelist is Mrs. Angeliki Tsolakidu. Excuse me, yes, sorry, Mrs. Adriana Psomas is the Global Marine Director for Marine New Build and Dry Dock at PPG since 2017. Prior to her current role, she held various positions within PPG in marketing, business development and technical areas. She holds a bachelor and master's degree in chemical engineering from the National Technical University of Athens, a master's degree in energy and environmental management from a joint program between the National Technical University of Athens and the University of Piraeus, additionally as well as a master's in business administration from Warwick Business School in the UK. She has been a member of the Women's International Shipping and Trading Association, Wista, since 2013, and is also a member of the Andros Maritime Association and the Property Club. Welcome as well. And last but not least, we have with us Mrs. Maria Kuku, currently holding the role of HR business partner for SIBA Zone at Bureau Veritas. She is a human resources management expert offering 15 years of experience with the development and implementation of change management and strategy plans, both as consultant and as an in-house leader, recognized for re-engineering HR functions, collaborating with all levels of management. Broad experience with international exposure, Europe and LATAM, in fast-paced environments including shipping, tech and startup. As you can see, we have on board a lot of experience and I think we will have a very nice discussion. So, as we all know, we can start the discussion about the main subject of the panel, that is a people-centered decarbonization concept beyond sea-level boundaries. So we are going to talk about the human element in this journey. As we know, everybody is talking about technical aspects, about the decarbonization, and we intend to forget a little bit the human element in all this. So we would like to know your opinion and your actions from your companies about the human element, the human impact, and I will just start with the first question. In this era of the decarbonization, how the shipping industry addresses the human factors and the challenges that arise from the new operational demands? If I can ask Mrs. Alexandra Khatmihailou. Thank you.
Thank you very much for inviting me in this discussion. It's a great pleasure to have all these participants to follow our reflections on this topic. Since I'm the very first one to answer your question, I will provide a very brief overview of the situation we are in. Yes, we are in the decarbonization era, and each and every one of us is trying to meet the goals that IMO has set. And what is this goal? The goal is to meet 0% emissions by 2050 and a 20% reduction of emissions by 2030 compared to 2008, what we had in 2008. Therefore, the entire industry is working very intensively in meeting these goals. For instance, if we talk about bunker suppliers, they are working on introducing new fuels, biofuels. If we talk about classification societies, they really try to support the rest of the industry by giving us guidance. If we talk about, for instance, technology companies, they try to introduce new ideas and new designs. And if we talk about shipping companies, like the one we are in, I am in, we try to meet these goals. And then we start asking ourselves, what steps should we take? Well, there is not just one answer to this question. I would say it depends. Each and every company sets its own goals depending on its mentality, first of all, and secondly, depending on the age of its vessels, the types of its engines, and generally how aggressive approach the company wants to take with respect to the decarbonization. As far as we are concerned, and as I said, there is no right or wrong answer to the approach. Kyklades, being a company that has an average age of vessels, which is only 5 years, with modern, very modern tankers, I would say. In the light of a great degree of uncertainty that exists right now, we have started doing, first of all, the things we think that we can safely do, like trying to reduce our emissions by cleaning our hull very frequently, the vessel's hull very frequently, polishing propellers, using silicone paints that help us reduce our emissions because they reduce our consumption. And then, as a medium-term goal, we have to decide what other fuels we should use. And perhaps, if we need to retrofit our engines, if we are going to have any new buildings, what will be the design and what type of engine are we going to go for? So things like that in general. As you can imagine, to answer your question, I now gave an overview of the situation we are in. None of this can be done without having the people that will assist us in this journey, which is a long journey. We talk about, we have started working on what will happen in 2050. So it's a very long journey. Definitely, therefore, we need to invest on people. The people that we have already in our company, therefore we need to train them if they don't have enough training. And of course, we need to seek additional people that will assist us in this long journey. But this alone is not enough. I think that nowadays, more than ever before, we realize that we need collaboration between the various stakeholders, and we need communication. Because we need an alignment, we need a common direction, so that everybody contributes in this journey, which we cannot really navigate alone. And in order to have a common understanding on what are the requirements, the expectations from us, and the responsibilities that we have. So, in a nutshell, to answer your question, I think that the challenge, the major challenge is the human factor. How, if we have the people, if they have the training, how we are going to enhance this training, how we are going to enhance knowledge in general, and how in a society that has learned to work alone, more or less, in an autonomous way, we change stance and try working together in order to meet this target.
If I may, thank you for your answer. If I may come back to we have to be really close to the microphone, otherwise it's not working. I will try, I will do my best. In order to come back on what you said and to wrap up, how challenging you find to really find capable people, skilled people, and to get the right training and to establish something inside your company that has a potential. And also, I do recall the discussion that we had in the past about the uncertainty. And as soon as you don't know, you mentioned also uncertainty, you don't know what will happen in the future. We are still struggling to find the technologies, to find the pathway in this journey. How are you tackling this? How this is impacting your plans? Thank you.
As always, we start. As always, we cannot deal with what we don't know about, so we deal with what we know about or what we can do right now. And I have to say that as far as we are concerned, we feel very proud and very lucky having people already in our organization who have the knowledge, the skills. They are coming from the university. You know that the Polytechnic University in TUA, which is the National Technical University of Athens, produces engineers that have a very high level of education, and we are really grateful to them. They have developed a performance system, which is our own performance system. We have it for a decade right now, and we are monitoring with sensors vessel's performance in a great detail. We are really thankful to them. So far, we believe that we can face the challenges with the knowledge they have so far, and we are of course prepared to support them with any additional skills they might need in the future. And we also have a software developer as well, who is really fine-tuning the system. So I don't know if it's the same for everyone, but as far as Kykladas is concerned, I think we are well off, and I believe that Greece is well placed in the industry because better than other countries, I think we try more easily to locate personnel with expertise because of the high level of education that we have in our universities. I don't know if, of course, maybe other panelists may have a different view.
Yeah, of course. Feel free to join the discussion, of course. Although I have more questions to address, and I can go to the next one about the decarbonization culture. I mean, decarbonization is a long journey. So what challenges do you anticipate encountering in implementing the decarbonization culture in your organization? I could address this to Mrs. Psoma. Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Thank you for inviting me to this panel today. First of all, I would like to say that PPG is a Fortune 500 company based in the USA. Decarbonization and sustainability is in the core of our purpose, and this is a journey that we have started for several years now. So it's not something new. We have encountered a lot of challenges, of course, this journey. One of the key challenges is understanding and awareness, a good understanding on what is sustainability, what is decarbonization across the organization, so that we create an organization across all levels of workforce that values sustainability and is willing to drive the necessary changes to make it happen. Also to be able to communicate not only internally and to the stakeholders as well externally to the customers and drive the right strategies and support our customers and stakeholders with the right strategies for decarbonization. Of course, in order to achieve this, we have employed training educational programs that are targeted to each function, to its level of the organization. We have employed as well mentoring circles that are focused on decarbonization and on sustainability. And we continue this journey. This is not something that we will stop. We continue as there is evolution. Of course, there are a lot more challenges. I can continue. There are challenges terms of regulatory issues which are continuously changing. So we need, and we have established a culture that not only needs to understand the challenges today in order to incorporate those in the product development, but also anticipate what will come next and make sure, because we have also a very long product development cycle, make sure that what we develop will fit and will support the industries for the future. I will continue with another challenge that we anticipate, of course, digitalization, technological competence. So being able to understand, there is, of course, as Alexandra mentioned, there is a lot of uncertainty, so we need to understand the emerging technologies, be aware, and having the skills and the capabilities to implement those into our strategies and solutions for the industry. So these are some of the main challenges. Of course, we can overcome those with the right approach, the right skills, and of course education.
Thank you very much. If I may go back to Mrs. Hadjimetalilou with the saying about the culture, the decarbonization culture, since you have started this panel.
Yes, if I was not prepared to answer this question and I had to answer from the top of my head, I would say that my greatest challenge would be changing mentality. And this is because all human beings inherently have resilience to change. So they start in a negative way. They resist the changes, and we know that this is a journey where each and every one of us should be with us, and therefore the question is what we do about it. Thankfully, the media, the social media, and what we experience from the environment itself, which is the climate change, make us realize that there is definitely a need for this journey. So it's not something for which there is a feeling that there is no need to worry about. And I think that even if we don't feel 100% ready to do everything that is necessary and take very, very drastic steps, we should start off with something. And let's start off with very simple things, like trying to save electricity on board vessels or electricity in the office. Small things like turning off the air conditioning when we leave the office or turning off the lights. Because I think that only if we start changing the way we operate in our day-to-day life, only then we will become passionate with our goals, and we will not be taking just superficial decisions about what needs to be done. This journey is, I think, something that is very serious, because we all realize that if we don't do it, we are going to have very dramatic consequences in our lives and in the lives of our children. Therefore, we need to change the way we do things. I think that's the greatest challenge. And of course, all the rest, which is all this uncertainty, and when there is uncertainty, it is very difficult to convince somebody to become passionate about something. That's another challenge. And of course, the lack of knowledge that might exist for about technologies and what's the technology that will be the best one and will answer all the questions.
Thank you. You are very right saying that there is a mentality, there is a need of mentality change, and there is a need also to think beyond the borders and to realize that we're not talking about only emissions, we're talking about a general decarbonization, a general green policy. So this is a cultural matter. And I see that there are people that they are, in general, not only for decarbonization, they have some resistance to change. So I would like to go to the human resources of the company and to ask how human resources can assist an organization meeting its decarbonization objectives within the marine sector, including the culture also. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gouroudzis. Thank you for inviting me to this panel. It's a great honor to be here among these esteemed colleagues. Undoubtedly, shipping is under a profound change. So Ms. Mikhailou has touched upon all the developments happening in the shipping industry. New alternative fuels are being developed. Carbon indexes are becoming a day-to-day business for shipping companies, and they have to comply with the regulations. Emerging technologies in energy efficiency, autonomous ships, cybersecurity, all these developments undoubtedly need a new set of skills in order for the business to turn page, let's say, and move to greener practices. So how I like to see HR is as the sticking glue between the talent, our people, the culture, and the organization's success, in essence. So we have various tactics that we can help the organization succeed in this journey, and I would like to start with our role in casting a wider net to new talent. So the new specialists that are going to be required to fill this gap are not necessarily coming from a traditional shipping background. And this is something that we have to start realizing, that shipping is opening up to new technologies, new areas, etc. So there is a challenge in attracting experts in a field that is very often seen as closed off. So the industry should move away from this image of being an exclusive, let's say, exclusive group of people, and be more open, be more attractive to a wider group of talents. So this will not only help the organization bring new people in, but it will also inject more innovation, fresh perspectives, new expertise, etc. So this is one way that we can help by opening up the industry to new expertise that will be required. Apart from that, there is a need to reorganize, extensively reorganize. So new technologies, new services are being developed, and the organization structure should be fit for purpose. New roles should be developed, and we have to clarify the accountabilities that are going to be present. And apart from that, and to build on the organizational structure, I think that we are more, let's say, used to having hierarchical structures, purely hierarchical structures. And the new era requires for collaboration, as Ms. Mikhailou has mentioned, and we all think that collaboration is key. And the opening up of, let's say, the organization to internal mobility and flexible career paths, which are not present right now, is something that is required to the HR to focus on. And this is not coming only from the developments, the technological developments in the industry, but it's coming from the employees as well. So they require more flexibility in their careers. And also the collaboration is key, as we mentioned, as we all mentioned. We have to nurture a culture of ownership and collaboration and empowerment. We have to empower people. We have to break down silos. We have to create cross-functional teams in order to inspiring for our people, a vision for sustainability. And we as HR help on all these areas. And also to cascade what is the strategic priorities of the company, cascade to all levels of the organization. So this is very important, and I would also mention enhancing the learning culture or instilling more of a lifelong learning to our people. So this is not an exercise that is once off. I will not be trained once off and this is okay. This is a long journey, as we said, and this will need to happen on a day-to-day basis. We have to learn how to unlearn. This is the difficult part. And reskilling on technologies is, I would say, the easy part. Once the technologies are clarified, of course, they are not yet clarified, but this is the easy part. And of course, during this long journey, I think that the most important part is to keep our people engaged. So we have to hear our people and cater for what their needs are in this new era. So HR is key in all of these areas.
Okay, thank you. I see that you are doing a lot and you are trying, but if I may go to Mrs. Soulakidou, that is coming, I will not say in different industry, but very connected industry, but it's not purely shipping. So we have an immediate need for decarbonization. From your perspective, what kind of skills do you feel that are really crucial to our industry, and especially to your industry? And if you have any targeted strategies to enhance the skills of existing workforce to meet the new requirements? Thank you.
Firstly, I would like to thank for your invitation. I'm so glad to be here participating in this panel. Well, in port industry, we want port industry. We believe that if we want this effort to be effective, we must move forward with significant investment in human capital. Greek port authorities have all prepared some strategies and environmental maps action, which describe strategies and proposal for infrastructure investment, port infrastructure, and of course include some proposal for how to increase the skills for employees responsible in port infrastructure and employees from headquarters. Skills that are becoming crucial in the port industry is the knowledge of new green technology and fuel, knowledge of digital technology and automation skills, and of course compliance and engagement and and communication skills. Compliance meaning understand the new standards of environmental regulations, and of course ability to communicate the goals and the benefits of this effort to other employees and customers. Well, these action maps describe also key strategies for how to increase the workforce in port industry. Some of them are education and training in new technology, collaboration with educational institutes by cooperation with university or a technological institute, professional development programs by offering certification programs in areas such as environmental management, and organizing seminars on new technologies, and of course employee awareness and engagement. Organize awareness campaign on the need to reduce emissions, and encouraging employees to actively participate in this transition process through feedback and suggestions. All these key strategies help create a new dynamic and well-trained workforce to respond to the new challenges and, of course, support this effort.
Thank you. What about the HRs? How is the view of HR on this, about the needed skills, about what's becoming crucial right now?
Thank you for the question. So, one thing is for sure, maritime professionals across the board need to be upskilled and reskilled into many, many new areas. And of course, on the one hand, we have all the technical skills that are needed. So basically, more, I would say, STEM skills, so science, engineering, mathematics, data modeling or data analytics, cybersecurity, safety, artificial intelligence, and regulatory issues. All these are the technical skills that are going to be developed. But as I said before, this is the more easy part, according to my view. What is also important, or equally important, is the soft skills. So it will entail, this long journey will entail a lot of ambiguity, uncertainty. There is resistance to change, of course. It's only natural. So how well prepared we are as humans and as professionals to navigate this change is becoming more and more important. So skills like adaptability, agility, openness to change, navigating ambiguity, problem-solving skills, critical thinking, learning agility are becoming very important in this new era. And of course, the new era, the green shipping era, will require unprecedented collaboration between stakeholders. So I think that the secret weapon for this challenge is collaboration skills. And at BV, we place very high importance to the skills building. And in the strategy that was announced for the next 5 years, just 2 months ago by our CEO, our evolved people model is one out of the 3 core pillars of the new strategy. So people is really at the heart of the new strategy. And strategic skills is one out of the 3 streams that we have to build on. So this is becoming really crucial for us to build the skills intelligence, I would say. So skills decoding, what skills are needed for us now and in the future, and skills visibility in terms of who has what type of skill, what we need to build, what we need to build internally, what we need to hire or acquire from external sources. So this is the challenge regarding the skills, and I think that all organizations will put people at the forefront of their strategies.
Thank you for that. If I may connect with something that you said before, I heard you saying that in the maritime industry we need people from other industries to get in because of the skills needed, because of all this decarbonization mandate. So do you think that we have an opening to collaborate with other industries and to share best practice and technologies in order to accelerate the efforts? And if yes, how? And we can, this is not a question, I mean, what people can answer it.
Yes.
Thank you.
If I may add, I believe that this is a key point, that we will need deliberate knowledge transfer among the stakeholders, all the stakeholders of this really wide industry. Because the industry is not only the narrow, I don't know, shipping companies, ship owners, makers, ports, it's much wider than that. Fuel producers, tech companies that are becoming more and more necessary in the shipping industry, regulators, research institutions, all the stakeholders need to deliberately come together and exchange innovation, best practices, knowledge, etc. And we have to have this initiative, and they can take place in terms of public-private cooperation. It can take place as joint initiatives, so it can take many forms. May I add something at this point? I mentioned it previously, but I think that Mrs. also explored on this. We are talking about a completely different approach from what we used to hear about many years ago. Many years ago, we were used to hear that companies have a competition between themselves. Now we are talking about collaboration, which means they should put competition aside and start talking between them. It's a completely different thing. So, if one company, for instance, develops a fuel and they see there is an issue, there is a problem, they should communicate it to their competitors. Because if they don't do so, we will never get to the target. Because unnecessary time and effort will be spent towards the wrong direction. So we need to realize this. It's a completely different approach. We are asking people who are used to be using their mobile phones, crews that spend their time with themselves in their cabin, people in the office who are chatting all the time, to start talking to each other. And this is even more difficult nowadays, because people are used to be alone. We have gone through the COVID era, and we have become more introvert, so to say, and now we ask everybody to be 100% extrovert. This is a great issue, and I think everybody needs to start from himself. Or herself.
You're very right. The cultural change should be broader, not cultural change only in work, but between the companies. The collaboration should be honest. Also the human element. We should care about the people, we should train our people, we should exchange ideas. What we are doing here, for example, in Pοσειδωνια or any other exhibition, event or whatever, we are sharing opinions. And that was not in the past. In the past it was becoming, it was done, but in silence. Now it's broader. And we have to bring that also in our companies, in my opinion, and to change a little bit the culture of the people, to share more things inside the company. Then we will see for outside of the company.
If I may give an example
Yes.
on collaboration, which is interesting for the industry. PPG is operating across many industries, of course, so we have a good knowledge and expertise in best practices across several other industries. One good example is about the methodology of application that is a standard for many years in all other industries. It's electrostatic application that reduces emissions, reduces overspray of paints, and improves as well the health and safety of the workers. So in the shipping industry, this has not been adopted yet. Now PPG, because we have this expertise as a first mover, we developed our coatings to be suitable for electrostatic application, and now we collaborate with shipyards and ship owners to implement this as well in the shipping industry, which is exciting. But there are a lot of similar examples. And this is cross-industry collaboration. Of course, there is collaboration in the industry, and there are a lot of such important initiatives going on. I will give another example with our company. We collaborated recently with RightShip RightShip has a program, the Zero Harm Partnership Program, and the goal is to create awareness in the industry on the solutions that can help to support a zero harm, zero emissions industry. So we partnered with our silicon fouling release coating, the biocide-free coating that does not harm the ocean with biocides, but is also silicon coating that can improve the emissions up to 35%. And the goal is to create awareness and faster adoption. So more and more such programs are now available in the industry. I think this is the key. This is the goal, to create awareness and transparency.
Exactly. We have to change. We have to change the way of thinking. To think outside of the box. To change our culture. To share more. But talking about change, Mrs. Solakidou, since 2005 as an organization, you have seen many changes. What about the last journey that we have started with decarbonization? Have you created departments, roles, specifically focused on the decarbonization, on the development?
Well,
thank you.
The understanding because of the complicated process in recruitment under a public sector, it is very difficult to create the department focus on this effort. So employees from existing staff have already taken these roles. Roles that have two directions. The first one is sustainability and green procurement officers who prepare reports with sustainability criteria and of course promote progress with sustainability goals. Coordinate with all departments and prepare these reports. The second one is energy efficiency roles who conduct energy audits, track with energy consumption and savings, develop methodologies for calculating emissions, analyze data and collect these data emissions, and of course prepare the reports. All these reports every month collected by ESG department of Hellenic Republic Asset Fund, which is Port Authority's supervisor, and the fund is responsible monitor the progress of this sustainability transition.
Thank you. And how about PPG? About the same. You are there since 2017, so you have seen some transition.
Indeed, we have made a lot of. Indeed, we have made a lot of changes, and we have created, in fact, a centralized sustainability department that is reporting directly to the CEO and is overseeing and creates the strategy, the corporate sustainability strategy, and oversees all the efforts for sustainability across the different business units. And then we have a lot of roles that are more targeted, so sustainability partners in the business units, for example, for aerospace, for automotive, for shipping. And their role is to understand, to be more specialized on the industry, on the customer needs, and then make sure that they execute those strategies and support, understand the ambitions, the customer ambitions, the industry ambitions, and support towards the specific industry goals. But we have other roles that are related to the research and development. So we have sustainability roles in the research and development groups that make sure that the whole chain is focused on sustainability, from the raw materials we select to the end product, and make sure again that the strategy, the corporate sustainability strategy, is executed in the product to support the customers of the business units.
Thank you. And I can presume that you retain your people throughout this journey, throughout this process. So how do you ensure that the retraining programs are accessible and effective to all employees? What is the process? Thank you.
We have several training programs that are focused on sustainability. There are a lot of programs that are accessible online. There are a lot of focus programs that are happening in place specifically. But as I read recently, in order to implement a change in culture and mentality, then we need to repeat the training several times. Sometimes it takes from 6 to 20 times to repeat the same trainings and the same notions so that you can see the change. So we continue these trainings, we repeat the trainings at regular periods, but also we have created trainings that are a notion of mentoring, so trainings on the go. So not only training programs, but training in practice, which we see are very efficient and effective.
Thank you. And moving a little bit towards to the people-centered approach, and that I will use again the same word, journey. This decarbonization journey, because we are talking about the journey. We are not talking about one-stop trip. It will take long. We need to feel that we are not alone, and we need some support. So I would like to ask you, Mrs. Mihailoglu, what kind of international, local policy frameworks are needed, in your opinion, to support the people-centered approach for the shipping decarbonization that transcends the national boundaries, maybe?
First of all, in my view, in order to synchronize everybody, you need an international vehicle to do that. And I would, in my opinion, IMO plays a very, very important role. However, if there is delay, I think that local authorities or local organizations like the Union of Greek Ship Owners could play a very important role in waking up these international organizations that will set the necessary frameworks in order to meet the goals. At this point, I would like to point out that there is one very, very important framework that, in my view, has not been the focus as it should. We are used to that, I would say. We are used to the fact that normally technology moves forward more quickly than consideration of the consequences of this technology. And therefore, I think that focus on health and safety has not been so much on the radar as it should. We know that everybody talks about future fuels being methanol, ammonia, hydrogen. We know for a fact that methanol and ammonia are highly toxic. And we know for hydrogen that it is highly, it's combustible and inflammable. And therefore one asks himself, okay, if we develop technology towards this direction, what happens next if we find out that this is a risky technology? That's exactly the problem. We hear about major shipping companies going for one option or the other. We know that their vessels are being delivered with the option of ammonia, for instance. And we have people on board these vessels. But looking at IMO's frameworks, because before coming here I wanted to know what is the position in this respect. I see that with respect to all these new fuels, the reference, and please correct me if I'm wrong, because I may not have the latest position in this respect, says currently under development. So It's under development. What are the risks? Considerations about the risks of all these fuels. And being a person that highly focuses on people, which should be above everything, because nothing can be done without people, and all this world is made for the people, and we are part of the environment, of course. We care about the environment, but we are part of this environment. So in my view, in my mind, that should have been the starting point. But it never happens like that. Normally, we follow the technology. And this is what happened a couple of decades ago with asbestos. I remember that. I was new in the industry, but I was in the claims side, and I know for a fact that there were major claims about people that were dying because of asbestos, which was an insulation material used in the accommodation panels. And people were dying because of that. And then we abolished it. And my question is this the way it's going to work again? Are we going to experience the same? Why don't we sit down and consider what are the risks and make sure that we make, for instance, engines that work with this fuel or another fuel, but we make sure that they are safe for people. I'm not 100% sure if much consideration has been given towards this direction, and this is a major concern of mine. Perhaps I'm wrong, I don't know, but that would be very, very interesting to hear from the audience as well, if anybody knows if the necessary consideration was given with respect to health and safety. And therefore, in my view, that's the necessary framework that needs to be developed as a matter of urgency. Other frameworks have been touched upon, of course, like have a harmonized training because of the global needs of education, which are the same for everyone. Why not having a harmonized training framework? And also, why not having a collaboration framework as well, in order to share lessons learned, best practices, etc.
Thank you. What I can assure you from our side, at least from the classification point of view, about the new fuels and about the new technologies, is that when there are no rules, we perform risk assessment, extensive risk assessment. Of course, let's be honest, you cannot cover everything, you cannot predict the domino effects, etc. But we do have the expertise to cover many of the aspects in order to have safe technologies on board. The problem is that there is uncertainty also to the seafarers, and there is lack of knowledge, and they are afraid. But indeed, it will take some time, and I fully agree with you that we need an international framework for this, sooner or later.
Let's hope that these risk assessments are appropriate and enough to deal with the potential risks, because if we don't get it right, we risk losing seafarers, people that will be prepared to go on board. And that's a major risk.
We don't tolerate with the safety. That is, out of any discussion, we don't tolerate with any safety. That's why I said extensive risk assessments with professionals, with experienced professionals, that they know what they are doing and where to look in order to cover everything. And we don't tolerate risky things.
So you are assisting shipping companies to make this risk assessment as a classification society?
We have guidelines, we have procedures, we have experts that they are assisting. All the classifications, not only EPS that I'm representing, but all the classification societies are doing the same. And we are assisting for the risk assessment, covering a lot of the key points, of the risky points, and we are going back then and we are trying to develop rules as well. When we see that something can become quite standard. Because it's not always, to have descriptive rules is not always easy. When you have different technologies, when you have different risks, you cannot cover everything. So, talking about the health and the safety, I would like to go to Mr. Cholakidou and ask what are the health and the safety implications of the decarbonization of, okay, you don't have seafarers, but I would like to know your opinion, or dock workers, and how can this be addressed in the people-centered approach? Thank you.
As Alexandra said before, of course, brings significant health and safety implications for dock and port workers. Some of them is, of course, exposure in new technology and fuels, maintenance and operation of new equipment in case if not managed properly, mental health and well-being, of course, because of additional stress and job security concerns in order to continuous learning and adaptation to new practices. The only positive implication I can say is the work environment. Reduced emission can lead to a cleaner work environment. Well, for addressing this implication, we have to work on a comprehensive training program with updated protocols on safety, healthy monitoring and support, on regular health checks and mental health support, enhanced safety measures by safety audits, and last but not least, collaboration with health and safety experts for improving the safety standards. I think that the very first priority is the well-being of workers. It's the only way to have a safe and smooth transition in this direction.
Thank you. And shall I ask also Mrs. Psomas to... Nothing to add, okay. Then let's move to the next one. And talking about human element again. So the question is for Mrs. Kuku. How can the shipping industry address social equity in its decarbonization efforts, ensuring fair treatment and opportunities for all? This is something really important, I think, to know from HR.
I believe that the shipping industry plays a crucial role in addressing social equity in its decarbonization efforts, and it has to offer equal opportunities, as you said, and equal treatment to all, especially its workforce. And as I said before, the training and education should take place at multiple levels and target all audiences, so from onboard seafarers to onshore shipping staff, financial institutions, fuel suppliers, glass societies, and tech companies. All the shipping ecosystem needs to be retrained, and opportunities for this should be given to all. But in order to do this, I believe that what is important is to, and Mr. Cholakidou, I believe, and Ms. Hatzimirkhailoglu have both touched upon this, that we need to have some common and universally acceptable guidelines in order to do this effectively, to develop all these wide training programs that need to be developed and education. Apart from that, we also mentioned before that deliberate knowledge sharing should take place among all the stakeholders. This is really important for the knowledge and best practices to be shared and have a collaborative approach and actually a win-win situation for all, as I see it. this is not a competition, as Alexandra said. This is a win-win situation that we have to move aligned towards a common future, a better future for us all. And although we need to have a common language, which will be universal and global, let's say, it's common for everyone, the competency gaps that are going to be addressed need to be assessed locally. So this is a very diverse industry. So all stakeholders should be vigilant and continuously monitor the competency gap and address them on a local state. And of course, the transition to greener shipping gives us a chance to advance on another aspect of equity, which is the gender balance. So it gives us an opportunity to advance on gender balance. We all know that women, and not only women, there are other underrepresented groups that are here, but especially for women, they are not represented well in the shipping industry. Specifically, I would say, to technical marine jobs, the most technical part. They are mostly working on management, administration roles, but not so much to technical roles. So this should be tackled as well if we want to achieve an equitable future in this era. And there should be targeted measures to specifically for women and underrepresented groups. And especially, I would say, from the source. So STEM education needs to be addressed, and we need to focus on initiatives and investment in STEM education for women. And this is really important. At Bureau Veritas, there is a CSR target in our LEAP 28 strategy to enhance women representation in our senior leadership roles. We aim to have 36% of our senior leadership positions covered by women by 2028. We're close there, not so far, but not so close. But we are actively monitoring this direction. So access to education for all, and also an inclusive greener workforce with targeted actions is very important if we want to achieve a just transition.
Okay, thank you very much. I do have one more question, but I would like to address it to all of you as a sort of a closing note, and before giving the space to the audience to ask if they have any question, of course. So I will start with Ms. Tsonakidou. What advice would you give to other industry leaders who are just beginning their decarbonization journey? And you can see it in both ways: other industries or other industry leaders for your industry. Thank you.
Well, this journey is a process. It's a process. Well, that requires strategic plan, collaboration, and of course commitment. Some tips for industry leaders who are starting this journey is, of course, recognize the urgency and set clear goals. Develop human capital, invest in new technology, encourage collaboration and networking, and of course communicate their efforts. I think that this journey requires a holistic approach that includes technological innovations, staff training, and collaboration with other entities. From my professional role as an economist and financial director, I have to say that all these investments have a high cost and certainly amortized in long term. But the benefits are clearly greater, for improve the quality of human life and of course planet survival. In both industry, we support that our mission is no emissions, and that it's not just a catchphrase, it's a commitment. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Gallo.
I don't think I have to add much more than he mentioned. I think what is most important is to understand that this journey concerns everybody, and they need to start thinking about their approach at an early stage, find the right people, to realize the goals that have been set, train them, educate them, and enhance collaboration and communication so that we conclude without much delay as to what are the future fuels, what are the safety considerations that health and safety considerations that need to be met, and what is the knowledge that we still need to enhance. Thank you.
Thank you. And Ms. Somas?
Thank you. I fully agree with all the elements that Angeliki and Alexandra mentioned. I will add another practical element. Of course, if you start a decarbonization journey, the first thing is to understand your emissions, scope 1, 2, 3, and then see where the greatest opportunities for reduction are and set clear plans. And of course, as we said several times, collaborate with others, share best practices, and awareness, share awareness.
Thank you. And Mrs. Kogo?
I would say in a very few words, empower your people. This is my advice. Empower your people. Make them feel like they can be themselves. They can shine. They can contribute to your journey with their best ideas to this decarbonization journey. And this is the only consideration that I would have, because we always say people are our greatest asset, but this is the era that we truly need to empower them, have ownership, feel inspired, and contribute to what is needed.
Thank you. And yeah, and also from my side, if I may, I really agree with all what you said on your last keynote. It's all about people. Decarbonization is not only emissions. We have to understand that. We are trying to do that for us, for our kids. I have 3. I'm proud father of 3 kids. So I'm trying to do the best for a better future for them. And it's not just emissions, it's not about taxes only, it's about the people. And the well-being is also something very important. Empowering the people is also very important. And of course, be happy. We should smile, we should have a great planet. Not grey, great. Just to make clear. A green planet in order to be more happy. On this moment, I will give the space to the floor for questions. If you can introduce yourself, I don't know if there's any microphone. Yeah, and
right. I'm Helen Thimopoulou. I'm a professor of maritime something, everything across my career, and I'm very proud honorary member of Wista. I would like to build on our experience. The thing about Wista has always been collaboration, openness, and despite the fact that many of us are competitors among us, I'm competitor with other women in academia, in other institutions, we have always collaborated when it was essential. Can we use the Wista example for what you mentioned before, that if we create an initiative by which COOs or technical directors create a database in which we can report anonymously or signed, doesn't matter, problems that arise with the new fuels, with decarbonization, with whatever. We could give an example, and as Wista International is a consulting member of IMO, we could work together towards this direction. I think this is about the female leadership we were talking about when we built Wista, isn't it? So that's my 5 cents.
Thank you.
The President.
Yeah,
Perhaps the President would comment as well.
Well, I think that this was the idea behind this seminar. When we organized the seminar, we felt that within the maritime community and within Wista Greece, we have a pool of talent, a pool of experience, women in leadership positions who can contribute their knowledge and expertise, and that was our mission really, to give something back to this industry as an association. So many thanks to the panelists. I think that we did achieve something really good today because of the collaboration among the Wista members and the women within the maritime industry in our country. And raising the visibility of our members and our colleagues is key, but also introducing new ideas and processes, proposing processes to tackle this issue and to embrace a culture as an industry where all employees feel that they're appreciated, a culture of meritocracy, and to approach decarbonization with this point of view, I think is key. And this is what everyone underlined here today. And many thanks to Helmeta for including us in this project. And of course the foundation. So, do you want to add something?
No, not add anything back to you.
Yeah, I wanted also to congratulate Wista also for organizing this workshop on this very contemporary issue, and thank Wista for being an associate partner in Metavasi. Metavasi is exactly about that, it's all about collaboration. It's a 4-year project supported by Lloyd Rector Foundation with a wealth of partners and associate partners in Greece, Cyprus and the wider East Mediterranean. We've got academies from Egypt, from Lebanon and many other countries, and from Israel. Purely that says how much it is about collaboration, and it is about putting the focus on people. There's so much information, there's so much initiatives on new technologies, on legislation, but through Metavasi we try to place the focus on people, on gender equality, on the opportunities that decarbonization creates for a new work environment besides all the other. So congratulations for your approach to this panel, for bringing on board distinguished ladies from various backgrounds, and I think it's very important to get the perspectives of all stakeholders involved in order to be able to get the right conclusion and make sure that the transition is safe and no one is left behind, and it creates opportunity rather than creates new challenges. Thank you.
Thank you. And again, warm congratulations to all the panel. It was a very stimulating discussion. And actually, it's an angle that we don't touch so much when we speak about green shipping and transition, to have this person-centric approach. So following up on what Ms. Katzamikhailou said earlier about a harmonized framework, and based on the discussion that the previous lady asked, I was just thinking that since Wista Hellas has this NGO status at the IMO, and we have the revised, the new midterm measures and the GSG strategy in the next years, I was very interested to know what type of alliances and collaborations Wista has done with other member states, perhaps this is for the next conference of Wista, but I think, yeah, that this organization has a pivotal role to play to make the change and create a global framework for safety, for training purposes.
I think that the best person to address this point is the president of Wista International, who is here with us today. So I'll be over to you.
Thank you so much. So I got half part of your question, but I think I know. So as Wista International, being the ones who represent all of the other countries around the world, we have a very strong voice in all the major places that discussions on diversity and educational matters and the way forward for all the new talent that we will need for decarbonization purposes, new technologies, etc. are taking place, like the EU, like United Nations, the IMO, the ICS, the BIMCO, I mean, just not to enumerate things. Any ideas you might have that we haven't thought about, you are always free through your local NWA to pass on the ideas you have. We try to collaborate with members who can give us the information that we need. So if it's matter relative to seafarers, what changes we need to make as an industry to adapt changes for SDCW, for the MLC, we go to our members who are seafarers, we ask them, we take their point of views, and then we deliver that in the decision-making bodies. I hope I replied to your question. Thank you.
Unfortunately, we don't have more time. We have to end this session because there is another session later.
There's another session, but ABS are kind enough to host us at their stand, so please join us to continue the discussion there.
The stand number is 3101, all three. Thank you. See
On
you there.
behalf of all the board, many thanks to all of you.